We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live from the Apocalypse. And everything broke. Everything immediately broke. That's
Oh no.
fine. 1 second. Oh, wait, this is fine. How are you? We're doing great. Oh, that pops up. That's cool. I didn't
I
know
think it's
that
just
that
Vicky
was
right now.
visible. Yeah, it's just,
Everyone
doing
just
its thing.
boil your heads if you can hear me. There we go. Okay.
So yeah, that's the issue. So Vicky's the only one who's still frozen, which is fine. She's only running the game. Um, and
You're just not wiggling.
all right, we're gonna have to do this.
No.
Uh, yep, there's only one way I can think of to fix this, so we're gonna try that. Definitely, it's okay. When I said we were live on Twitter, I was like, "Hey, everything's breaking," so expectations are low.
It's where I thrive.
Yep, and that's just not happening. Apparently, it's just not working. There it goes. Maybe this will be something. Oh boy, a day. You mean just have a day? What is today? Is it Wednesday? Wednesdays are usually better than this. You're back.
Oh, yes. I'm not moving.
Yes,
Oh, no, I am.
you're
Oh,
moving.
okay.
Yep,
And I have a Zach.
we're all
Okay.
here. Hey, hi,
Yay!
hello. This is fine. Nothing bad is gonna happen again. This is Live from the Apocalypse. We play tabletop games for charitable causes, aid organizations, nonprofits, things like that. This is Wildcard Wednesdays, where some of the cast members of our ongoing shows get a chance to run their own games. And with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Victoria, who is running Mercy of Time. Take it away.
Great. We're on the second session of Mercy of Time. We're benefiting Planned Parenthood with this stream, so if you support us, we ask that it goes to support Planned Parenthood, or like if you're gonna like, subscribe, all of that's fantastic. But if you're planning on donating or hitting the like exclamation point donate, also a cat sighting, um, that you do that in support of Planned Parenthood for this stream. We donate when we play, and it would be fantastic if you chose to do the same if you liked what you see. Mercy of Time started last session with our crew in jail. They have since broken their way out, but in the meantime found a not found experienced a an interesting cosmic level occurrence. Something that has appeared in the sky and caused everyone to, at one point, have this great feeling of awe and a vision, if they were allowing for it. Toad didn't experience this, but the rest of you did. And as you had this moment of great significance, in the sky outside, there appeared this comet with a like red orange streak and tail across the sky, and it is currently leading you towards the west. And the reaction to it amongst the populace has been interesting. That feeling of awe and that vision came to a significant portion, but not everyone out in the population. And it looks like so far you've gathered the information that not everyone experienced the same thing either. Um, but as it stands now, you're out of jail. The rest of the people that were in jail with you are out of jail, and you talked to a uh, burly fellow while you were attempting to escape. Bran didn't just talk to; did a whole bunch of choreography and dance move, delight with this gentleman. And you have the offer to meet up with his caravan that's getting out of Obsidian Bay, which is the city that we are currently in on Earth in Greyhawk. Um, and your option to travel with that caravan will be leaving in the morning. So you have a night and a morning to get things situated. We know that Brand has something to settle on the way to receive an artifact that you have been looking for and were able to find provenance with, and that should be ready for you to pick up. No one else was successful in finding exactly what they were looking for, but some of you have a little bit of information, and we're gonna get moving. So that's where we are. All right. So since it's the night before at least your planned meetup, um, we have kind of two things that need to happen. You have however you're going to spend your evening, like where you're actually going to bed down, if you're going to do anything other than sleep, refresh yourself. Uh, and then we also have what preparations you need to make. So let's situate the evening first. And who, if any of you are sticking together, who and how?
I think Brand said she was gonna go take care of her business and then uh kind of like suggested that everybody else go help Toad find the bowl
Mhm.
because he seemed very dead set on that before leaving.
Yeah.
Everybody else seemed a little more flexible, but I think Brand and Toad were pretty stubborn about needing to get their things before they left.
It's true. Toad, you haven't found the bowl that you've been describing in Obsidian Bay. You had a lead of places that would be a good idea to look, but you don't have a like distinct place to go to procure this. So like you can definitely check with other like or see if someone would have a better idea of where to look, but you don't know exactly where to go from it. So that might be something that like if we have to do something this evening before you head out, it might be just figuring out where you could ask maybe in the morning before you leave. All right. And yeah, Brand is gonna handle the pickup of your piece of art that you have purchased and well are
As
purchased
quickly
half
as
of.
possible. Yes.
All right. So Bell and Zerk, what are you thinking for your evening?
Oh, all
Did we
right.
just crash?
Yeah, one sec. It continues. Maybe. Nope. Hmm? It's thinking about it. Cool. This is great. This is excellent. Great. Well, you can hear me, and hey, look at that. My captions are working now. So there's that. Um, everybody else is gone. Try refreshing again.
I can't.
So there is a storm where I
I'm back.
live, and yep, you are. Everybody should be back, but this is like appears to be kind of a band-aid situation in the long run.
Never a dull
Um,
moment.
Never a dull moment. There's a storm where I live and two of our other players live, and it's messing with some stuff. It looks like so. We're having a good time. Zach, can you try talking again? Because for some reason, Victoria's audio is coming through your channel, and I couldn't hear you.
Yeah. So I was just saying that Zerk, just in general, is seeing his businesses done with this city pretty much. He's been put in jail. He wants to get out of here. Is definitely going to take Toth up on the offer, the ride out of town. And seeing these are probably the most powerful people he's interacted with in Greyhawk. Is definitely calculating that these are potential allies in a place that he doesn't really have any. So he's taking all that consideration, and his evening is pretty open to helping anyone with their business before the morning.
Yeah, kind of similar for Belle, although she has no leads on where what she was looking for could be found. So she's open to helping Toad look around for clues on his item, especially since it sounds like they're going to be catching up with Brand afterwards. So sticking with the group seems like a good idea right now with a fiery comet in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's definitely on Zerk's mind as well. He's like, this is not good. I'm
Yeah.
not ready for what's about to happen. I need more preparation. This is not the time.
Yeah, and peek behind the curtain, in session 0, we did all have to roll to try to find the objects we were looking for, and almost universally we rolled very poorly. So this is our fault.
It's just because some of these are rarer, or like, maybe the people who stole a ceremonial bowl weren't thinking that they were going to sell it at this particular market. That's narratively, it makes perfect sense. I don't know what you're talking about. But so what I'm sensing that this means then, Brand is going to handle the art transaction that's going on. So the 3 of you and possibly your goblin friend are going to probably stick together then, unless it looks like Brand wants company. But I was going to say, I don't get that sense from Brand as a general rule. So yeah, okay. So for the 3 of you that are sticking together, Brand, you know where your pickup location is. Honestly, you're basically just going backwards to where you were. But the 3 of you, if you do not already have... Okay. All right. If you do not already have a place where you've been staying, there's places nearby, but they're going to be you are right now kind of in the nicer part of town. You're in the inner ring of Obsidian Bay, and the inner ring is all of the more established families, older homes, things that would have been generationally passed down as the estate or building in which they have their, home in town, when not taking time in the country or the other things that rich people do. I don't know. So here, if you were to stay at an inn or a tavern, you're also going to have reasonable accommodation, but it's going to be significantly more expensive and possibly unfriendly. Obsidian Bay clearly has a mandate right now that's slightly xenophobic, if by simply virtue of you were picked up off of the street only for sticking out during the middle of a festival time. The impression that you got from the city guards that were at the jail was that this is part of the mayor's initiative to look like he's doing something. That, after all, making festival time safe means getting everybody that looks weird off of the streets of, places that are nice and otherwise swept and clean and filled with rich people. Your money's good, but your presence is not. So you could attempt to stay here. If you go to the outer ring, that's a little bit more cosmopolitan, and it's a little bit friendlier to people that are not strictly vanilla humanoid. That's also where Belle and Brand are just going to have better contacts and information. So in terms of Toad and Zerk, if you have oh yeah, this is where I've been staying or what I've been doing, rock on. But Belle and Brand are definitely going to have a little bit more information about where a good place to set up. You are meeting on the western side of the city with Toth in the morning to get out of Dodge. So if you want to be closer to that, that's fine. If you want to be closer to some of the shopping districts, we found the places that were set up with stalls had a couple of different locations outside in the outer ring, only really that one main location in the inner ring where Brand is going back to get art. So where will you settle?
I think definitely staying low key. I'll probably somewhere on the outer ring on the west side, just ready to go in the morning. If there's nothing we can do the rest of the evening, I would just chill.
Okay. All right. All right. So Bella, I'm going to go ahead and assume that they're looking to your local expertise for this. So those papers are so loud.
I know.
Okay. At first I was like, what are we doing? But it's it's paper. Okay.
They're not coming through on stream, if that makes you feel any better. Also, it might be
okay.
Yeah, they cannot hear them at all on the stream.
Never mind. No, I said nothing. No paper at all. No, definitely papers. It's a secret tool we're going to use later. Anyway, so if you're going to head to a Lake Tavern Inn on the west side, Belle, you're going to make a recommendation for that.
Yep.
And how would you know to stay here? Is this a place where you stayed before? Is it someplace that you have like a contact for the people that work there? What makes sense for you because you have your own digs.
Yeah.
What would this be to you?
It would probably be where I've met with contacts before. I assume that somewhere in the city I have like a room at an inn that I stay at regularly. Whether or not it's this one on the west side, that's up to you. But it could just be, yeah, we know. I know this place from meeting contacts here within
Okay.
the city, looking for bounties and brand.
Great. Okay. So we're gonna say that if this is a place where you typically meet contacts, like maybe you're starting a contract, that this is one of the sit down and have an ale and talk about the expectations and set your prices. We're gonna do that here. This is the Violet Thistle because I said so. And you know it to have like a reasonable selection of like decent brownish beer. And people that don't ask too many questions if you come in and make your business dealings there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I know the bartender and everything, and whatever is I usually get, which is probably just the ale. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. All right, so that's where you guys are headed. If you, Toad, are going to either extend this invitation or include in the conversation Ninafreda, your sort of adopted babysitter goblin, she's not going to stay with you if you extend that invitation, but it will change sort of your preparation if you include her in this or not. So are you saying your goodbyes or no?
I was going to include her.
Okay.
if possible.
Okay. Thank you, but I've got my own. So the stall that I have like folds back up, and I've got a caravan wagon. I do some of my business in the city, but like usually just during the big festival days. I can meet you in the morning. I do think it's a good idea to get out of Obsidian Bay for a while, so I'm gonna go see if my my compatriot managed to not destroy things while I was in jail, and we'll put stuff back together. I can meet you at the caravan in the morning, but do you all know where to go to get supplies? I mean, you'll forgive me for making an assumption, but you see, like you don't look like the best outfitted for travel.
I have enough supplies for me, but I can't feed anyone else. Unless you want mushrooms.
Would they come from your shell?
Yes.
I will politely decline.
Okay.
I can help with some of that. Do you remember where you found my stall?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, you can find your way back there before mid-morning. We can probably get some of that handled. There's a couple of decent vendors that'll give me good price, and I can't help you with like my wagon's not big enough to fit all y'all and your stuff, but I got all my inventory, and it's probably not going to have sold particularly well because he's he's really only good for watching stuff. But we can, I can help you handle that if you need. Belle, I suspect that you're going to probably need more in the way of travel-y stuff. Like I'm not too worried about you knowing where you're going here, but like, yeah, okay. And I don't know if I actually got your name.
My name is Zerk.
Yes, of course it is. Zerk, the You're certainly well armored. Do you have what you need to travel?
Rations would be nice for the journey. We will.
That's true. You
ask
do need a
Toph.
sandwich. Yeah. Or 4.
What is a sandwich?
It's bread and stuff on the inside, and like if I give you enough of them, you'll maybe fill out some of that armor. I'm just saying, you look a little noodly on the inside. We'll fix that. That's fine.
Oh,
Mushrooms might
like
be
a
good.
hot dog.
Yeah, or a taco, right? Yeah. Like, does a burger count? These are bigger questions than me. And anyway, we can get those situated. I'll talk to some people as I'm doing the setup, but I'll meet you in the morning if you can head back to the stall. Okay?
Sounds
All
good.
right. Okay. All right, and she's gonna like put her officious walk on and head on off. All right. And then like, right, Violet Thistle, just in case.
Yes.
Cool. All right, bye. All right. Good night. See you in the morning. Sleep well. Don't let
If we
bad
never
luck
see
bite.
her again. If we never see her again, at least we'll always have the time that I threw her at a guard.
Yeah.
To remember her by.
Before she goes, can I try to give her a bit of gold for her troubles?
Like, as she's leaving, you're planning on giving her gold?
Yeah, like, thank you for your help tonight. I know we didn't get the bowl, but you were being very helpful this evening.
The initial reaction is going to kind of be like I mean, I don't know if you know what, you did actually get me jailed, so like if you wanted to throw a couple more on here, that would be fine.
Just look at Belle and Brent and Zerk.
I had nothing to do with it.
I am conveniently
She followed you.
Yeah. I brought
I do
her
not know
her
the small
crossbow
one.
back.
That's true.
I
Yeah.
call that even.
All right. Stick it in a
See you
pouch.
tomorrow morning.
Head off. Yeah. All right. She did say that she was going to take a finder's fee, but you didn't find the bowl. So, but as pointed out, you did get her jailed. So this feels more appropriate. Yeah.
Zerk has the tourist power of being like, what is gold? Never heard of it.
That's not what we use on my planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Brand, if you head back to the plaza in order to do the exchange for your art, you've put down your deposit, so you've already paid for half of this. The rest of it is going to be collected when you pick it up. This was the agreement made. As you like, the person that sold it to you, though, that gentleman is not the one that's waiting for you when you head back to the plaza. There's a like leather, like vellum style tube. Right, it's got like a nice strap to it, whatever. Like clearly there's some like a canvas wrapping on the inside, but this is like the intern that's here. It's like a teenage girl. She's like gonna be like looking for like, okay, I was gonna recognize this person because they've got, oh yeah, that's gotta be you. Like that's gotta be you. Okay. So I am supposed to collect the rest of the fee for this. So if you like, if you have that, then I can, and we can get going. You are Brand, yes?
I am.
Okay.
My deal wasn't with you though.
No. Yeah, so my boss is already like packing to leave. And like I've been told basically this is my salary for the rest of the event if I can collect this and then get going. I'm supposed to like drop off basically like if you don't take the tube, but as at this point I'm assuming that they're like he's already packed up goods in the wagon we came in and is headed out. Like the art and parcel, whatever reason, who's like super freaked out about the comet and is taking a ship, heading with all of the stuff off down, I don't know, across the bay, I guess. I live here, so this is but like it's a really nice severance pay for me if I get the rest of this money. So yeah, if you don't mind, I'll take that from you, and then you can have this that I don't want anymore, please.
That was so much information I didn't ask for. I will need to see it first, at the very least.
Okay. It's wrapped, but and like she'll undo the tie at the top of the like leather tube and take off like the canvas cap basically that's holding it in place. It's like oiled canvas, so if you put it back on, it should like be nice for, water. And then rolled, the canvas is no longer obviously in the frame, but the painting has been like rolled nicely, and she'll like unroll at least part of it to get it like not completely undone, so that it fits back in the tube. It's exactly what you paid for. It's just not in the frame any longer.
All right.
Yeah. So you have your portraiture on there with the mountain in the background. It's This is yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
That's it.
Thank-
All right. Yeah. Let's
Thanks.
exchange.
Great. So if you like hand her the pouch of money, she's gonna like count it in front of you, and then basically be like, "All right, thank you, bye."
Yeah. Brand is definitely going to do the thing where she like reaches for the tube at the same time that she extends the gold, so that we can like do it at the same time.
Yeah, that like she's not offended by that. She's like, yeah, okay, yeah,
Cool.
fine, yep, okay, yeah, and then, yeah, okay, great. Safe travels and all that. Like, fine. Nice to meet you. I'm sure. Ciao. Like, she can head on out. Like, clearly, like hiding the pouch under a layer of like jacket as this is, and yep, like. We're out of business now, so got to figure that out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That is more than fine. So then I guess I'm gonna, now that I have it, I'm just gonna sort of sling the tube over my shoulder, and I'm trying to think, because the only plans we made while I was still around was to meet at the gate the next day.
Yep.
I guess not really having much else to do. This was much faster than I expected it to be, than Brand expected it to be. So I think maybe she had told everybody to go, or she had suggested to go check for the bowl in the upper ring, I think.
Yeah, in the inner ring. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, the inner ring, yeah. And so I guess maybe I'll just head that way since I have so much more time, and see if I happen to run into.
Okay, you're already in the inner ring. This is the like main plaza where the Gottenmarkt was going on. So if you're like looking specifically for purveyors bowls, there's plenty of people that have something going on, at least normally.
I'll just head to the bowl district.
Yeah, that
where
one.
they sell the bowls.
Yeah. It's right like next to the like alleyway where they sell cutlery, and like across from the one where there's So as you're walking around, because you do know the city like well, you have a couple of places that probably were like, oh, okay, like I know that they do this kind of work, or at least they can push me to. When you guys were picked up at the plaza and put in city jail, this was like the big night of the festival, right? There were stalls set up, like taking over this one plaza in the inner ring. There were like multiple of them in the outer ring, but it's a festive atmosphere. People were like eating and drinking, walking along, doing their shopping, finding their things. Now that this like strange occurrence happened that made you have like a vision if you didn't resist it, but regardless had that like strange percussive, like deep in your bones sense of like awe and like force, along with the appearance of this red and orange tailed comet in the sky. It's kind of mayhem out here. Like people are packing up stalls, they're making last deals, if any at all. Anyone who is selling food and drink pretty much isn't doing that anymore. There's half-eaten stuff on the ground that otherwise definitely wouldn't be here, especially in the inner ring. And you've got like a fair amount of that like low-level, like anxious, not quite panic, but like, I do not have plans for this, and I know that I either need to go somewhere or do something, and I don't know what those things are. So like by the time now that you're getting to things, it's already the end of the evening. So there's a couple of stalls that are just like closed up, but there's a good portion of them, like maybe a third or so, that are just packing up. Right. And that's 2 days earlier than normally they would be leaving this festival. So like 2/3 of your, or like half of your actual like market time available, they're just giving up. The mood, if you're like listening to people as you're walking around, is definitely a like, I don't know what I need to do right now, but I know that I cannot be here, or I am not going to go through with the rest of a festival time when it looks like we have, an omen for can't be good, right? It's red and orange, like, oh, that's terrible. And that sense of that you got of awe, for some people, clearly didn't come across in a way that was like a it didn't come across as something that they met with positivity, or that they met with like a sense of possibility, but rather one of like, they have to cower in the face of this, which is not the sense that you got.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brand like takes it all in with honestly like a little bit of satisfaction, if anything, just because like Obsidian Bay has not been a kind place to her. It's just kind of the place where she ended up, and she's like just never quite got up the momentum to leave. But like, she hasn't had a lot of great experiences here. So I think there's something about the chaos of and all the fear that she sees, like looking around at these people, that's a little satisfying.
Okay.
DM, I have a question.
Sure.
While we're finding the inn, Zerk would like to take a moment to just look at the object in the sky. Is it in the atmosphere? Is it out of the atmosphere? What's like, can you get a general scale of how big this thing is?
Yeah. So does not look like it's like streaking low atmosphere. Like this is definitely up in space, like above, but it's big, right? Like with a typical like comet sighting, the ones that come around and like you are knowledgeable in astronomical things, right? You'd expect something that was like a bigger star almost, right? Like the ball, at least, of the comet, and then the tail is really where the size of it is. Ones that are larger, that come closer, bigger. This is huge. Like it's in space, but it's either significantly closer, or the actual object that's hurtling through space has to be huge. And the tail of it, instead of having that like slightly green, blue, white cast of like all of the dust and the ice and of the comet, the fact that it's red and orange in the sky, not during a time when the sun is setting, or means that that's an unusual color for like an object that isn't in atmosphere, certainly. So this is like, if you were to be recording the significance of this, like part of the reason the panic is happening is that this does not look like an astronomical event so much as it looks like a doomsday event to casual observer.
Yeah, Zerk just takes a moment to just observe the people, and then he'll probably actually put his helmet from his suit on just to be as low key as possible, and then go in the inn and wait for morning.
Okay. All right. So if Zerk is going like directly to bed, paid for room, going up, would any of you offer for like sharing a room, or is it just like, all right, whatever, like we don't know each other that well?
I'd ask. So, Belle, do you know where we could look for the ball tonight a little bit? To like at least narrow some things down or ask some questions?
I mean, normally I would say I could ask around with my contacts, but given the current chaos, I'm not sure how many of them I'd actually be able to find. Um, is the main issue. I'm not as well versed with expensive magical items, or unless like it's being sold on the black market, in which case they're probably more underground than they used to be.
Yeah. Or packing up to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think everyone experienced that weird thing that you did?
I don't know. It sounds like Minifreda at least did not experience exactly what I heard. I would ask Zerk, but he just went to bed.
No, I mean I would be there for the conversation.
Okay.
I just go in the inn. I'm not on the street anymore. If we're having a
Okay, yeah.
conversation, I'd be there for it.
Yeah, I assume at this
Um,
point we're like drinking beers, and I'll turn to you and be like, "What did you see?" Because I definitely heard something.
I think I'd go up to the bartender and say, "Did you feel the funny thing?"
Okay. Bartender is like garden variety human, as beige as you were when you were still in disguise. Are you currently in
I'm
human
still in
disguise?
disguise.
Okay. So you look like a new kind of human now. So the bartender's gonna be like, I mean, I don't know, like I felt like I was in like a grayed out version of the inn, then like everything kind of shook, and like I don't know, it's like some people were brighter, but like I don't know, my ears are still kind of ringing, but like yeah, like I don't know, like I got it was a weird feeling, like I don't know, I've never had the like urge to bow randomly, and like that like. And I don't like. What do you do? Do you get on your knees in front of a keg and call like the? I guess if the world is coming to the end, that is probably what I should do. What are you drinking, by the way?
A
I mean, if I
ale?
were gonna worship a keg before the end of the world, it'd be that one. But a
I'll
little bit
take
more
one of
expensive.
those.
All right. The lady
My regular, thanks.
and for sir.
I'm fine.
Okay. All right. So you'll get a like little flagon of, like nice little like shorty barrel style mug of the like better like mead in this case, and then nice drinkable brown ale for Belle.
Yeah.
Zerk has a thought. Toad, considering your problem, it is wasted time to spread out tonight to search over vast city. The better plan would be to wake up early tomorrow and get to the gates before anyone, so you can ask everyone on the way out. They'll be lining up for us because no one's be leaving tonight. So they get a head start on it. Everyone will just ask every cart, "Hey, do you have a bowl? Hey, do you have a bowl?
Hey, do you have a bowl of water?" Yeah.
It seemed like a better plan than running around in the dark.
Yeah. If we find it, it'll be very helpful for the next whatever we're coming into next. And I can return it to my people later. They need it, but not right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
And yeah, that'd be Zerk's plan.
I mean, so if this is a bar that I normally hang out at, like, would the bartender be one of my contacts, or would I be like working with him?
the
So I could ask-
bartender is gonna be a like sees that you do business here, but in terms of like any kind of knowing, nah. The like the owners of the actual tavern might be a little bit, but like they're not currently in evidence. You could ask for it. Did we get a donation?
Yeah.
You just got a donation. Thank you so much.
Yay! All right.
Thank you so
Look
much
at
for the
that.
donation.
All right. So you could ask if any of them are like nearby enough that you can like if they're in-house or if they're planning on coming in. The people that work the tavern, though, like they're happy to do your business, but like basically that's above my pay grade. Like I'm not gonna bother with
Yeah,
it, but
they don't
like
care.
I don't know, you tip, like that's cool with me. Like you haven't attempted to kill any of them or turn them in, so you're fine people, but yeah, like their actual knowledge of anything in terms of your like business is like
Yeah.
I could make some assumptions, but like that also feels like a dangerous proposition. So I serve you the ale, like sometimes the cheese fries. It's fine.
Cats are breaking into the food area.
Okay.
1 second.
Yeah, I'm just wondering
They're
if
so
any of
crafty.
they really are.
Okay. Well, we're not on mute for that one, so
That's
No.
okay.
no.
That one did come through on stream just a little bit, which is a testament to how powerful it is.
No, I guess I'm just wondering if what I told Toad was actually true, or if there are any of my contacts nearby that I could like reach
Gotcha.
out to in the immediate area.
I mean, if you're looking for an object, you like the tavern owners aren't going to be super helpful, but if you're just trying to see if you know people that can find stuff, certainly people that you talk to around town.
Yeah.
Like this place, if it is a place where you like bring business and start your contracts, maybe not where things are procured necessarily, but it's rather than exchange. So you might be able to send a message to someone if you're like, hey, is it possible that you've seen this? But whether you're going to get that before you need to roll out.
Right.
So you could wander around, certainly, town and see if there's anyone in particular that you like wanted to stop with. But the like whether the information will come to you, less likely.
What time is it right now?
So it's like 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
They kept you for not a ton of time before things started happening. Like you guys got moving. Brand started moving pretty quickly once you were incarcerated. So you didn't stay overnight. Like they had been like talking about how they were basically going to let you go in the morning. But like you broke out before then. So, but it's late enough that like, because it's festival time, there's still some people out and drinking and a handful doing business, but they'd already be closing stalls just with like normal hours.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really want some like roasted chestnuts, you could probably still find them, but
Yeah. No, I mean, this is probably a good time when my contacts would actually be out. So like I might take an hour just to like walk around and check out a couple of the like haunts where I would expect people to be that are near, like ones that I have that are nearby. But I also really want to have the conversation of what just happened.
Okay.
So I'd probably finish my beer and have that conversation and then head out and just
Great. So Toad didn't have this experience, at least not the same way that y'all did. Like you recognized that something was happening and you resisted the effect successfully. So from Toad, from your perspective, you still know that there was a thing that overcame, but you don't know what it looks like from the inside. So, but Zerk and Bell both experienced this slightly differently on the inside.
It was like I was in the plane between planes. My people in Limbo are used to going through that, but this was something different. And a champion was called for.
I heard that too.
My people are controlled by one mind. He sends everything out. I wonder if something nefarious like that's behind this.
Did you see that figure? He was like shadowy, right?
Yes. It was also an unusual, like when you say figure, that doesn't quite paint the perfect portrait because it wasn't like a solid single thing.
Right. Exactly.
You got the impression that it was like a combination of either more than one being or more than one figure, or that the imperfect materialization was going on.
Yeah,
I
it
really
was,
seem to have missed out on something. I thought the guards were just trying to shut us down, so I didn't think it was going to be all this drama.
why do you think they need a champion?
I don't know. I mean, so some people shone brighter than others. Was there any sort of pattern to it? Did any of us look brighter? I don't even remember who I was with at the time.
I believe you have that in your messages. If you were to look up who was brighter, maybe.
Where would those be?
So, the Nefreda and the tavern keeper here both describe not hearing anything about a champion being chosen. They just felt funny.
Mm-hmm.
You two both heard the champion goal?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
maybe it's something to do with, I'm guessing you're better in a fight than an Nefreda is?
Maybe.
Unlikely.
I mean,
I sent it to you again.
yeah, it's like I don't see it. Where is it? I mean, I am guessing. I mean, obviously, it has something to do with the comet in the sky, and
Yeah.
I assume time will tell if that is going to get bigger or not.
We were on the east side of the city and they experienced it on the west side.
Yeah, I think they experienced throughout the whole city,
Yeah.
at least.
It wasn't just the jail. It was everyone.
Hmm.
Wonder how they're doing at the upper ring. They must be shitting their pants.
The inner ring.
Yeah, the inner ring.
It's kind of also upper. There's a hill on
Right.
the, but it is the inner ring. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
Lots of questions, not many answers.
No, I'd like to hear Bran's take on it too when we meet up with her again. Are we still within? Are we within a mile of that where we left Brand?
Yes. Where you left her? Yeah.
Yeah,
Are we still mind linked?
we should be.
Okay.
I don't remember how many hours I rolled, but it was at least
It was
like
a lot.
5.
Yeah.
I think.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
it was like, I think it
Yeah.
was like 4 hours. Like, you have time.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
a lot of hours.
Yeah, and it goes up to 1 mile. So if we're still within a mile of each other, then I will let Bran know that we are here, and ask her if she's any idea. Like I'll say I'm gonna go check with some of my contacts if you have any ideas of where we could find this bowl. That would be helpful.
Discovering that we can still communicate telepathically.
Yeah,
It was two-way, right? We did determine that
it was
Yes,
two-way.
it's
Yeah.
2-way.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, Brand is gonna say, oh, that is convenient. I finished my business. I'll come find you.
Okay. In that case, I'll wait until Bran shows up because she
Cool.
and I can talk about where
All
how
right.
we want to divide.
Bartender will be
and conquer.
happy to offer to refill all of your drinks and like maybe like put a thing of water near Zerk, figuring that like that's good service, but like I don't, because you're still in your helmet. It's like I don't even know who's in there. Like, okay, and, maybe it's just a walking suit of armor. You know, you see weirder things during festival times. Yeah, like they've got like a sausage boil thing going on. Also, if y'all are hungry, like it's like taters
Yeah, I
and
don't think I've eaten. Food would be nice. Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you.
One for you.
Yes, I will have one.
Yeah,
Since I assume
and
we'll take Brand a bit.
gesturing to like what Zerk like do
I'm
you
fine.
require? Okay, maybe all right. No food, got it. And sir,
I'll take one. Do you mind if I get a little more comfortable?
I don't.
as long as you like keep your pants on, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I have to take off the crown.
So
I'm and like keeping an eye on you while like walking back to where food is prepared. Like, okay, like, great. All right, well, refill mine as well. And we'll come back a couple of minutes later with like 2 steaming bowls of basically like Low Country boil, like corn and potatoes and, you know, some form of sausage. Steaming, smells like, you know, celery and salt, and
Mhm.
I mean, it smells good. Definitely like high calorie fare, but you know.
I feel like we'll be needing that in the days to come. Have we seen Zerk without his helmet? Because they took your
Yeah.
shield, but okay. But they didn't
Well,
take the
you
rest of your
just put
armor.
the helmet on.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see me without the helmet, but not the armor.
not the
Yeah.
armor. Yeah.
Actually, that original split mail is still in the shop and still enchanted with infused with armor and magical strength. But that's for later. That's just there. That's not my problem anymore.
Someone's gonna be very happy when they find that.
Yeah, or
It'll
not
go away
know.
eventually.
Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't take a ton of time for Bran to get here if you're walking over. So catching each other up. Do you want to talk about Bran's experience with the occurrence, or before you go looking?
Yeah,
or?
once I get there, I assume they ask about
Yeah.
that, and I know, yeah, I heard that too, and saw it.
Okay.
Called for a champion, and said, "Who will answer?"
Yeah. I heard that too.
If the being is powerful enough to affect this many people, why would it need a champion? Why would it need any help at all?
It may not be for help. It may just be a challenge. Trying to find.
I almost certainly am bad at it, but is there a role that we could make
Sure.
to try to figure
If
any
you
of that
wanted
out?
to roll for, say, religion, that would be a reasonable assumption for like visions, etc. It would be a significantly well, no, I take it back. You can roll Arcana, but it's not going to tell you as much. But religion would probably be the best bet.
I can try. I mean,
Yeah,
anybody who can
sure,
should
okay.
probably do it. I'll
Yeah.
try, but I'm not.
I'm
I'm
not.
very bad at this.
Zerk's, I don't have proficiency in religion, but Zerk's mom is high up in their religion, so he does have some experience with it. Never mind, natural 1 and a 1 on the guidance.
Well, you know, like when Mom prattled on about that stuff at the dinner table, you know, like it was shop talk, you know, yeah, like when
Zerk
is the
hates
pudding
organized
coming?
religion.
Yeah,
Ugh.
like I already have to go to Sunday school, Mom. I know this stuff. Okay, yeah.
I know, it's a hive mind.
I rolled a 14,
Well, you know, I
but
know.
my intelligence is 9. So I'll go with religion since that could potentially give more information, but it's a 13 either way.
Okay. And Belle, did you roll?
Yeah, I got a 9 plus 1, so 10.
Okay.
I'm more familiar with the infernal deities.
I rolled a natural 1 as well.
Yeah. It's
All
not
right,
your
well-
religious practices, so meh. With a 13, the idea of something that powerful asking for a champion definitely strikes you as the call for a champion from a powerful being or deity, or is it's not a necessary like to do the dirty work so much as it is to sort of remind of the influence that, you know, we have on the material plane. Like not quite showing off, but like, you know, it's if maybe not necessary, but helpful if you're, you know, seeking out a renewed faith, maybe.
Okay. I will share that hunch
Yep.
with the group because I assume that's what it is. So I don't know. I mean, that's just a guess, but
Yeah, sounds right.
I mean,
You've read stuff.
where I come from, that's how people flex, right? You get somebody strong, no matter how strong you are, you get somebody strong to do your dirty work for you. And that sends a message.
I do not like when these powerful beings flex. It puts me at unease.
Generally unpleasant.
You seen a lot of things like this?
Where I come from, there is those who view themselves higher up and in control, and they try to break the wills of those below them.
Where do you
Yeah,
come from
where is
exactly?
Yeah.
My home is on the plane of limbo.
Does that mean anything to me or us?
Maybe. I mean, you could roll for it, but it's not
Yeah.
like the general notion of limbo is not
Right.
unknown to you.
Okay.
The idea that there's like entire populations of like an indigenous people to it might be like, and what that might entail or who else might be lingering there, that would require a roll. But like limbo
guess it's
being like the in-between space of like that it exists as a plane, and it is possible to be in that like unchanging, like that's a thing that you know about. It's common knowledge. What
Okay.
comes from limbo? That's a little bit more.
I was wondering because like in this setting, is it more like saying, "Oh, I'm from Australia," or more like saying, "Oh, I'm from Atlantis"? Like, is it like, "Oh, that's cool," or is it like, "Oh, that's real"?
A little bit like I'm from Atlantis in Greyhawk.
Okay, cool.
Since and both of you,
Alright.
since you're like from and live here for a long set of time, maybe slightly less for Belle because you're already kind of a weirdo by this system. But yeah, it is a little bit like somebody telling you like, oh yeah, like my family grew up in Brigadoon. It's great. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's
Understood that
a
reference.
place you could be from. Sure. Yeah.
Like I may have an infernal lineage, but it's been a while.
Yeah, like I haven't visited my like second cousins in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And so if you wanted to know more about like the kinds of like creatures that I would like need that to be but yeah, it's a little bit like them telling you that they're from like the Enchanted Forest. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're definitely not from around here.
No.
Sure.
No.
So, do you regularly jump planes?
No, this is the first time I had enough prepared, and the right circumstances fell in my lap, but I took a chance.
Well, sorry.
No, it was by choice. This is where my journey led me. I need to know if my suspicions are true.
Suspicions of what?
I believe the elder brain has infested my society once again, and is trying to dominate us like the Illithid once did.
So
You said a
Illithid
whole lot
might
of
be a
things
word that you have some familiarity with, possibly more so Toad, maybe. So in like that category of like the monstrosity that you know of, like Illithid being like, oh crap, like that's not just like your people subjugated under like a bad ruler. That's like whole class of creature that like real bad news. That's a reasonable, but once again, like, yeah, you are kind of being like, this is a whole lot of big old words and like large theory for whether you have any idea exactly what like Illithid even looks like is like to some degree going to be whether you have any real like if you're interested in like the history of greater adventurers or people that did like walk planes, but it's definitely not something that like you've encountered in your like
Yeah, Brand's tough, but she's like city tough.
Yeah.
So not a lot.
It looked like your calamari.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that none of those things. Oh,
You've heard
okay.
of them?
Yeah, we've done some trading with the Underdark. I didn't do it, but I know someone we know people who went in and out. But that was not me. I've just heard of them.
Yeah, just bad people.
Bad.
Yeah, the kids I didn't hang out with in high school. Those kids. Yeah.
Can I see if he's lying? Can I see if Toad actually did interact with these people?
You can insight it, and then Toad, you can decide what, either if deception if you want to, countering it, or you can just let him read you.
Because as soon as someone probably Underdark, Zerk would definitely get his sight.
That makes sense.
On,
so Toad, if you are seeking to either deceive or like performance or even persuasion, if you're trying to like seem like you know what you're talking about, but if you're just stating a fact and are fine with him letting you read you, go crazy.
12 was my roll.
Okay. So are we opposing it or no?
No, we're not opposing it. I'm stating a fact. Like there's some caverns people went down to trade. I didn't do it. I don't know anyone who did it, but there were people in my village who did it.
Yeah, the impression that you're getting is that, as far as he knows, that actually happened. Yeah.
His connections
seems above board.
His connections could be useful.
Okay, I feel like this is all extremely fascinating, but there's still a giant comet in the sky, and we need to leave the city, and Toad wants to find something before we can leave the city.
I was going to say, I assume none of the things you just mentioned are giant fireballs in the sky. So we maybe have more pressing issues.
It's true.
Until the giant fireball showed up in the sky, I thought you guys just had a whiff of something together collectively.
That's something also we're going to have to get back to, that you did not experience anything. Which seems to be the minority for like the city as a whole, not just us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what's weird about it, right? Is like you would think if people heard this whatever that being was call for a champion, only the champions would be the ones who heard it. But it sounds
not
like
everyone heard that.
Heard it.
Ninefreda, before she left you guys, talked about experiencing a similar thing. She did not hear the call for champions.
And before you came,
weren't a lot of people like outside when we got outside? Weren't a lot of people like
they experienced something, but like the call for champion that you're describing, so far nobody has owned up to that other than you guys. The bartender just told you the impression that he got was to kneel or to bow. Right, like experience that like graying of the plane of like everything being like a grayed out version of like an in between space, and like the other figures around not being solid or in full resolution. And then the impression that they had was to like take this sense of awe and to like cower. So the champion thing is definitely not, so far you're the only ones that have mentioned or talked like of that. Ninefreda didn't even get that.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay, so as you're doing this talking, assuming that we're not being like super announcy, but that's up to you. There's other people in the tavern, and like same thing, you have that pervasive sense of just like anxiety, and some people are clearly choosing to deal with that by drinking. As happens. There's also a fair amount of like speculation going on, though. So if you tune into some of that, there's some rumor flying.
Yeah, I would like to.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's people that are speculating that because of the direction that the comet is moving and because of the color, that this is something that will impact, that it's like currently up, but that if it's traveling looking as though it's headed towards the west, that if you were to say find this place where it's going to land, that if it's clearly going west, so we should absolutely be going as far east as we possibly can, because if this makes an impact, everything gonna die. You also have people that are speculating as to like whose omen this is. So if it is if that sense of awe that they were getting, if they're like, oh no, like this is definitely my god, or you're hearing all sorts of popping stuff around, but there are like a small group that are specifically talking about making a pilgrimage to the west for this. So people that might also be headed in the same direction as you, and they're specifically talking about the goddess Marika. Not America, I know, but it's Merikka, and that they believe that this is her symbol that they're seeing, and that they're going towards the west for that. So some people that are like, no, got to go the opposite direction so we don't die if this hits the planet, and then ones that are headed towards it, or at least following the like as if it were like following a star.
Okay.
And then there are like other people being like, clearly no, this is like it's a symbol of my god, and like that cowering like sense, it clearly wouldn't, like I wouldn't have been influenced by any, and then that's just whoever they feel like. But
Zerk like lightly scoffs at everyone like claiming or not claiming it's their deity.
Reasonable. Yep.
Damn, that it'd be a lot easier if everybody just agreed it was good or bad.
Yeah.
And it is split, but you know, nobody's unmoved by this. Like the sense is not a like, I'm ignoring that, you know, overwhelming urge to cower or rise up, or it's just how they're interpreting it is across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like they're people. Okay. So
then
are you
matters at hand?
Yeah. So are you going to go looking for contacts with the people that Bell and Brand might know, or are we going to bed down and then contacts?
I'd like to take at least an hour to poke around.
Okay. So my question with this is, are you heading more for people that you know as like artisans, or are you heading for people like, these people can find shit for me if I'm looking for it on the black market?
I was going to go black market and
okay.
like fencers. Yeah.
All right. We will have you go to someone that you know that's not too far away. You can pay for your rooms at the inn so like you have a place to stay when you come back. They're more than happy to like pass you the key for that. You know, like tell you which door to knock at so you'll be able to be let in after, you know, crowd clears out. And then you can head out onto the streets. We'll say like you've had about an hour's worth of like drinking time for Brand to get to the tavern, talking with one another, listening to the rumors that are spinning around you. So it's like 11. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to head to some of your like black market contacts, we'll say there's a like general goods shop that has like a back room and some staff that you do deal with. The owners collect things that they think might be useful and then pass it on for reasonable price. They're more than happy to show you what they've got. Nothing super, super interesting for like what you guys specifically were looking for. Like Brand, you've got your art, so you're set. But, you know, there's like a handful smattering of stuff. Also just general crap out in front in case you want to take anything with you for the journey. They won't have seen the bowl, but their suggestion is that if it's not an Obsidian Bay, right now, it looks like it probably wouldn't stay here. Either it didn't come here at all, or it's unlikely to still be here because of the way that people are packing up the market. Like, if this is something that has like religious significance also, like right now, those people aren't staying. So if we had to give you the best guess of like where you should go, like I'd probably head to Neildraw. It's like bigger city out into the like grasslands over towards the west. Not quite as big as Obsidian Bay, but it's well established. It's probably the oldest city in this part of the continent. And it's a little bit more mixed also. Like you'll get, people who don't look like humans. So it might also just be an easier way of getting around and asking for information. But it's also definitely a place where like interesting goods come through. It's kind of exactly in the middle between the peninsula and the Sea of Princes. So anything that's like contraband, it's a good like halfway point before it would get moving more exotically. I mean, if it beats you past Neil Draw, it's gonna probably head over with pirates. But I don't know what your bowl does, so that might, like, whether it moves on or not, like, doesn't sound particularly like it looks like it's valuable except to people that are interested in its religious significance or magical properties from your description. So it's either somebody that knows what it does or that specifically wants a religious artifact. And right now, I definitely go west with that. But if they're going east with it, good luck. But if I had to pick a place to look, especially with everyone getting out of town, Neil Draw.
And the pilgrimages. Okay. Thanks.
We should wait by the west gate in the morning.
Actually, yeah. People are going to be leaving the city through the west. I don't know if anybody's going to... Well, we'll go back and, like, relay this. Unless there's anybody else to talk to.
Like, they're also more than, like, if you're talking about heading west, they're going to start being like, oh, we could outfit you for travels for plenty of things.
Yeah, that
while you're here,
helpful.
All of you have been adventuring for some time, so in terms of having like the means to outfit yourself for travel, it's going to be whether or not you like have it with you. But you're not poor. You've been in this world for long enough time that and in this region for a long enough time that you've amassed some funds. Whether you planned on spending it this way or not, probably not. But like you can outfit yourself to travel, certainly. So I am curious about what your character would prepare in order to head out west. If you are with us on the Roll20 map, the peninsula you're on right now is sort of semi-tropical, temperate, but like it's it has some farmland, but it's just it's mainly because of the position on the bay that this city is here. There's some low hills and little mountains immediately to the west. There's an easy pass through those, and then the kingdoms immediately after as you head towards Neil Draw and then beyond. Toth mentioned that he's going to Caeland, which is a little bit further. That's like forest and grassland, and then opens to basically like pastoral prairie. Everything before you hit the Dreadwood, which is that like big sort of Cheeto looking green spot. Further up. Yeah. Okay. And the Dreadwood becomes mountains, and then there's big like craggy mountains over further away. So what you're preparing for right now is not super difficult terrain. Like you expect some like moderate difficulty in terms of having to go over hills, cross some rivers. But like the only problem is it's winter. So you're going to get like this is effectively January. So you're going to have like rain. You're going to have gray muddiness. The condition of the road with like ice is not unusual, and like foraging for stuff might be a little bit harder during this condition. So preparing what you need means probably good boots, and definitely if you want to do this at any kind of speed, mountain wagon. And so what I would like to do, if it's cool with y'all, is do 5 minutes so you can start thinking about that. And if you need a break, you need a break. And if you're watching, now is the time to refresh your drinks and use the bathroom. And yeah, we'll get to the next piece when we see you in just a bit.
Awesome.
All right, don't go
Also,
away.
cat.
We'll be right back. Oh, cat sighting? I'll update
Yep.
the thing.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody. We'll be right back.
Hey, Princess Snortsword.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Yeah, that's definitely topical and relevant. Welcome back. So, in talking about travel, we're actually going to use the campfire system for this. Players, this is in resources and it's on the Discord. Campfire is also like free play use, which is awesome. I got it in a bundle of things that were benefiting reproductive rights, which is great. But if you are unfamiliar, it sets up travel in kind of three steps. Which is you have your preparation for where you're going, you have the like execution of that travel, mainly through like rolling to get a sense of how well this is going to go, and then you resolve things that might occur to you along those travels, depending on if you have successes or failures, and then also like what condition you arrive in to this place where you are going. And it adjusts for things like how long you're traveling, how difficult the terrain is, what the weather is going to look like. So our travelers will be setting out in winter, but in a like land that's not going to be snowbound. So winter just kind of means crappy weather. It's not going to be catastrophic weather as you've normally experienced this like first month of the year. But it is going to be just kind of gross. There will be ice on the roads in the morning, and like, finding foraged veggies, etc., not the easiest during this time. Some animals will be either hibernating or just not as active as they would normally be. And you're going to expect like a lot of kind of mud and cold rain. Everybody's favorite season, not winter. So that's what you're prepared to experience on the road. They've told you to expect that this is going to be at like about 6 days if you're traveling with like mounts and wagons in order to get where you're going. If you're on foot, obviously significantly longer than that, but the recommendation, definitely if you're talking about where you're planning on going and you're actually going to head to Neildra in the first place, is that you should probably be doing this like assisted. If you do this on foot, issues. The caravan that you are planning on joining was described to you as a caravan, so it would also be a little bit strange for like the choice to be on foot. But you don't know exactly what you're going to encounter when you meet up with Toth in the morning. So in terms of preparation, what would you specifically want to bring other than like the standard rations, of course? Anyone planning on a particular kind of mount, or like I definitely want the gypsy wagon, or hot pink please? What are we bringing, or what would you specifically want to prepare for you?
Zerk would just say rations, water, mount doesn't matter to him. He's fine riding in a cart if we want 2 horses to pull a cart or something like that. No real agenda there. He's all his other tools and everything are on his person in his armor. He doesn't really need anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I think Brand would definitely like advocate for a cart, because I don't think she's ever been on a horse before, and she's embarrassed to admit it.
Cart seems good, especially to carry our supplies if this is going to be a few days.
Right, and I'll guard those supplies.
If we pay for the supplies now, I could, in the morning, have a storage container that would be quite portable.
Okay. We can pick up supplies with my contacts. They have a general store.
Yeah, general store is totally happy to set you up with water and rations. They'll wrap them in like oiled linen and like everything that you need in terms of like goods. They offer that they can procure you mounts if you want them, and probably a cart. And like the idea being that they can either drop off for you in the morning at the inn, or they're like, or if you can tell us where your caravan is meeting, I suppose we could like deliver it there. But that, I guess, depending on the condition of the caravan, you might have some competition. So They don't basically like, we don't have the horses here, but if you give us some time, well, absolutely. Because like, yeah, like might be good to get that nest egg now before they also have to head out of Dodge. So I'm perfectly willing to do that. So I'm hearing definite on the cart. Do you want this to be like covered wagon or just like open cart?
If it's going to be raining, we might want it to be covered.
Our supplies
Okay.
are in there. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds reasonable.
Okay.
It would also provide shelter for us to sleep under, along with tents.
Basically, like a carriage type wagon is a possibility, or at least something that's like effectively the like Conestoga of the
Oregon Trail,
of Greyhawk.
Greyhawk Trail.
Yep. You'll be fording the river. It's fine.
Zerk dies of dysentery.
For the cart, their recommendation is going to be like horses are a good idea if you plan on using them to also ride. But otherwise, they're going to suggest that you have it pulled by oxen because that's easier for like beast of burden carrying a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're planning on doing also like mounts to ride, the suggestion is to get those separately as to what's pulling cart. And you wouldn't necessarily need one for everybody. And then the next question is can any of you drive a cart? Bran can protect it like whoa. I ask this because I believe at least one of you has a background that allows you to do this. But
is it the urchin background?
It is not, but nice. Toad, what are you preparing and what did you want to say?
I have the folk hero background, which I believe gives me the ability to ride a cart.
That's ridiculous.
So, drive a cart.
Yeah, I don't think mine.
That's right. Oregon Trail style wagon driven by a turtle with mushrooms coming out of his shell. Yeah.
I can't imagine horses work well with turtle anatomy.
Yeah, I imagine I would be the only one
heavy
to ride a horse.
for one thing. Yeah. So
which
I mean, conveniences of being a soft squishy human is why I have the circlet.
Fair. I mean, unless we want somebody to scout, that would be the only reason I think we would want a horse. Which will say I can ride, and I could do that.
It is reasonable if you have spent any time outside of the city that you learned how to ride, at least like decently. You might not be the greatest at like outfitting the horse every time, or if like, it throws a shoe, you might not necessarily be the person to ask of what to do to that. But if you like you having spent time anytime between cities really would be where I would think that you have experience with that.
Yeah, exactly. I am not from Obsidian Bay, so I got here at some point, presumably on a horse.
Okay. And then for Zerk, also just a mount at your access?
I'm fine riding. Zerk's fine riding the cart. He has no particular want to ride. He's fine being in the back. But he says, worry not about the weight of our supplies. I will have that taken care of.
Okay. All right. So I'm kind of hearing 1 horse, 2 oxen, cart. All right.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the weight of our supplies. I'm worried about the weight of my fat shell.
Got all those mushrooms weighing you down.
That's the loamy fungus mat is the you have to keep it moist. Water weighs stuff. It's fine. Yay. Okay. So we've got that sort of situated. The deal basically with the store is, especially like, we appreciate that you would think to come to us. So we're more than happy to deliver this by morning. Where did you say that you were staying so we can have it ready?
Violet Thistle.
All right. So they will be more than happy to basically have cart with stuff in it, oxen to pull it, and 1 horse ready to go outside of the inn. and they will happily accept your gold for this. Okay. All right. And any other specific preparations or things that you would want to make sure that you had with you?
I think
My
just
cloak.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Food,
Warm
water,
clothing, I guess.
camping gear, like
Pinterest
cooking
food.
gear.
Yeah,
Food,
gotta have
shelter,
the.
and water on the trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right. Nobody's like specifically going for the like riding elephant? No? Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
That's an
is that an option?
I mean, it might not be
Seen that.
available by morning, but it doesn't mean you couldn't find one. Okay. All right, great. So heading back to the inn, getting a good night of rest, unless anyone has something else they want to do before they get there.
I think at this point I'm laying low. Like, I don't want to run into anybody that I might know.
Yeah, like, you know, in the instance of at least like keeping safe also your rare item here, you might want to err on the side of sticking to the shadows.
So I am very comfortable just like hiding out until we leave the city behind.
Okay. Are you going to stay with them at Violet Thistle, or
Yeah, for sure. I think we should stay together.
stick together? Okay. Okay. As you head back to the inn, you're seeing, even now that like we are solidly in middle of the night, when even during festival time, you'd sort of expect that the only people still prowling would be like the drunks, and you've got a fair amount of activity of people trying to get their stuff together. Like the preparations for people to do something have started. Like some people are like going to ground, fortifying, or like clearly like prepping their house. Some people are getting ready to leave. Almost all of like the vendors that previously were in the process of packing, like you're noticing that those are gone or in the process of making their way out. There's also a fair amount of like rumor conversation and whispered, same thing. Some of those like, this is definitely a sign from blah, or a sign of blah. And the understanding that this is like apocalyptic has started getting added to the rumor and with a little bit more purchase. And since it's basically 6 hours since it appeared in the sky, like the force of this collective anxiety is stronger than just the comet appearing. That occurrence and shift that people may or may not have experienced or resisted is clearly shaking, like or adding fuel to the fire of how much of a problem this is.
DM, question. I assume we're kind of wandering back into the inn after we've done our preparations. Can Zerg take note? Has it gotten any bigger in the sky since they first left the prison?
Nope,
the
not yet. It's still big enough that it is significant. And as we kind of established in last session, that this is not something that you know of as like a recurring comment coming through. Like this isn't one that historically is like due for its appearance. So this is unusual. It is streaking towards the west though. So like what you would expect, a little bit of a different appearance in the sky if this was like headed for impact. It still looks like it's headed across the sky rather than imminently due to reach ground.
But there has been some movements change in it since we first saw it. Like, has it moved? Has it? No,
not really.
It looks like just going west, but just static.
In the same way that like seeing a regular occurrence of a comet, it kind of appears to hang unless you have the ability to like track it over days of time. It's not doing much. Just hanging there. Alrighty. Being all shiny and fiery and definitely not ominous. Importance and all that. You will, however, upon getting back to Violet Thistle, now have a new rumor. And this one comes directly from the bartender. Bell, I'm going to say that he's going to ask, like, can you see something? Like, can I show you a thing?
Okay.
Like, you handle stuff. I mean, I know we don't talk about your business, but like, you handle things.
Yes.
Okay. Like, and I don't know the rest of you, but like, maybe this might be a good, yeah. So if you'll follow, he'll lead you back to like not just the kitchens, but like through another door to where it's like mostly storage. So this is like barrels of ale that have not been opened yet, like pickled vegetables doing their fermentation thing, and on like in a crate of things that should just be like bread supplies for making food. There's bread that, like, if you look at it straight on, just kind of looks wrong, and if you step slightly to the side, has almost that like holograph effect where it's more than one thing that you're seeing. There's bread, and then like if you look at it one way, it looks like moldy, decayed bread, and if you look at the other way, it just looks like it's kind of double vision bread. I go, that I don't know what to do with this. He goes, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to, but that's not. I've never had bread be moldy, not moldy at the same time. I feel like if bread is mold, like, and I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, like, great, it's like bread, and like if it has a little bit of mold, like you just tear that part off. Like, no, you throw the bread away, right? Like that goes to the pigs. But like, that's not. And like, I swear 2 hours ago it wasn't doing that, but like, I didn't specifically go like, hey, bread, how you doing today? So,
Zerk presses the side of his temple and casts Detect Magic.
it's not magic.
Okay.
Is this the only thing that
It's
looks
not.
like
It's
that?
not an enchanted effect. It's not conjured. It's not like an illusion. It's
Is it the only
It's
thing in the
just bread.
storage area that like
That's
has
doing it?
that double effect? Yeah.
Is there anything in the storage room that's magical that's would be out of place, like not on these people?
No, it's like fairly normal. Like there's like a what, like it's clear like specially marked ale that has like an enchantment placed on the keg. Like it's things that you would expect at least fairly normally in. Like the bartender does not appear to have magicking stuff on his person, but there's like things that you would expect a like a tavern in a big, especially city during festival time. So there is definitely some of the alcohol that's either been like enchanted to have a particular like taste or effect, or like the barrel has, but it's very low level, like almost party trick kind of magic. Like this is going to sparkle when I pour it into a glass. Like this one's never going to go bad. This is bread. There's regular stuff for like, I mean, maybe a little bit more than a typical inn, but you know that this is where some business goes down. So within reason.
Zerk would like to try and lift it up with Mage Hand without touching it and to see like what happens if it's interacted with.
Sure. So remind me, like your Mage Hand looks, it's invisible,
actually,
right?
It's invisible.
Yeah. Okay. So as your like effect, all right, Toaster Damas. Okay. I see this. Okay. As the bread goes to be lifted, that same like almost like duality effect magnifies into like, instead of seeing kind of two at once, like almost double vision, now you've got this like that might be like 4 or 5 of them. The Mage Hand is like lifting it, but now instead of just seeing moldy bread, you also see like bread that has been broken up into pieces or sliced, and a piece that almost like, if you kind of tilt, looks like it's just a dough shaped into a loaf, not bread. But you can't see any of it all exactly at once. It just looks wrong until you kind of like squint and like, this is like, it's not an optical illusion, but it's almost like I can't see more than one at the same time. It just looks wrong.
It was my claw.
Yeah, but are you going to?
I'm gonna poke it with my claw.
You get this feeling up the rest of like your finger down into your forearm of almost that like pins and needles sensation of like, oh, I like, sat on top of this and now I'm getting circulation back. Like it feels wrong, but in a like I've hit my funny bone kind of a way, or not a just like a buzz.
Last thing I would like to try before just I bring it up, and I'll cast Identify if there's any significance I can gain from that.
From the bread?
Yeah, just anything. Yeah,
It's bread.
Would be so.
You have
curious if
identified sourdough bread. You have identified middling quality sourdough bread.
So
Before Zerk picked it up, did the dual image kind of, is it reminiscent of like the superimposed image of the figure-ish that we saw?
A little bit.
Okay. That's worrisome. I mean,
It's God bread.
It's sourdough. The holiness that
Tingly
happens here is on a microscopic level. Yeah.
Tingly God bread.
is this like good pandemic sourdough or like the
It's middling quality sourdough. Like it's not like the fresh today bread. This is like yesterday's bread. So it's definitely on the
also apparently.
It sounds like it was fresh today bread, like
but it's just like this was delivered here with a bunch of other stuff. Like somebody picked it up with supplies, probably was going to be served with soup. Now it's probably not going to be served with soup.
with the soup
Part of it is moldy, right?
Yes, one of the things that you're seeing in the like multi-image of bread is moldy bread. Not all of it is moldy bread, but
Sir, do you have a knife?
I want to try one more. I would like to just bring it up and just investigate it, like just look at it as close as possible. Like it's noticing hopefully some reaction similar to what we experienced, this kind of space between spaces. Is there anything I can glean from just like looking over it intensely?
Are you touching it?
I'm looking with a mage hand. Mage hand, like
so just getting it closer to you with mage hand.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you lifted it, all right, the image became more like multi again, like right. So instead of being just like 2 awkward bread put togethers, now it's like 5 awkward bread put togethers of varying states of bread. And like as you get closer, it has the sensory information you would expect from getting close to bread. Like it smells like bread. It doesn't smell like fresh bread. But like if you move at all when you're close to it, it almost feels like if you like tilt your head to one side, it smells moldy. And if you kind of like tilt the other side, it smells like wet and unbaked. All right, a little too yeasty that way, maybe. So like depending on how you approach it, it smells like all of the different kinds of bread that you're seeing. But not exactly all at once. It is not like this is very confusing for the nose. But like it's like the information that you're getting by your other senses being close to it, even without like perception check, whatever, is just that you are experiencing bread in a whole bunch of different ways in one place.
Wow.
While he's staring at it, can I cut it with a knife? Like with the hole that I poked with it, I'm just going to try to cut it.
Okay. Same thing. Like as you try and cut this, now hovering in the air in front of Zerk bread, you're going to get that same pins and needles feeling and like a vibration all the way up your arm. Like almost to the point where like holding onto the knife requires additional like muscle strength in order to make it move through the bread. Cutting it is going to feel like at points really tough dry. like bread that you're almost like crunching through rather than cutting, and also, but like strangely also like squish through, like it would still be dough. The longer that you put the knife through it, the more intense that feeling of like shaking your hand and the like sensation of pins and needles and loss of circulation is going to travel up your arm and into like your shoulder.
I think I might not finish cutting the bread, but I would describe that feeling as such.
Okay.
Like, leave the
Knife
knife
is
in
just
there,
like hanging in the
hanging in the air in the bread.
Yeah.
Does the knife look the same
The
after
knife
it, like,
is like the image of it almost looks like it's flickering, but the knife itself doesn't look like you're seeing different states of knife. Different states of knife. My next band name. Moving on. Okay. Thank you.
Well, one more test, I guess I want to run.
All right.
I will touch it now.
Okay.
I'll use magical tinkering, and I just want to touch it when it's in one of its forms and see if it takes all the forms. And again, it's some GIF writing,
Mhm.
and it says this is a test. I want to say like across like the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So when you say one of the forms, that's going to be the hard part, right? The like being able to like write across, especially with your actual hand, you're going to like the thing that Toad just described to you, you're going to start feeling that same thing. Like the tips of your fingers are going to feel like slightly numb, but also pins and needles up your hand. But writing it across the bread, it's like you can't get purchase on only one version. So like the script isn't going to be complete as you write it across because none of it's on only one state of bread.
What if I tapped it just to make it light, just to make it a bright, it emits bright light for 5 rays? I want to just tap it and just catch it in one state and try and tap it that light and see if that light stays up around all the states.
So if you like dunk, what you get now is that this like holograph thing that you're looking at has the added benefit of like staring into an LED, like through almost like a filter, but very, very bright. But as soon as you like slightly move your head or blink, then it's less intense, and then blink again, and it's like blinding to the back of your retina. So it's producing light only in one facet of this. The effect behind you on like the rest of the storeroom is also these like polygons of different intensity of light. Like it's coming through a prism all in different ways.
Interesting. All right. If you have no more need for this bread, I would like to take it with me.
Oh, please get this out of here. But like like put it like it's and now you made it light up. Like I can't, like how are we gonna like take it out the back if you're gonna like there's a staircase up there, like he's gonna like fish out a ring of keys and like take a key and hand it to Belle and be like, when you come down in the morning, just give it back. Like I don't want to like but if you go up the staircase at the back, that opens the door at the top. Lock it on the way back in, but like don't take this through the tavern.
Fair.
But yeah, if you want to make that go away, that'd be great.
Yes.
We'll
will
pull
go
my knife
away.
out.
The knife has both like sticky dough on it and like a little bit of crumbs sticking to the sticky dough. And you have that same like sensation to pull it out. Like it almost takes more effort to pull it out of the bread than it did to stick it back in. But it comes out. Yep. All right. So he's happy to have you.
Yeah.
You know.
I'll mage hand it and take it the long way up to the room.
Okay. It floats along with you, casting fun little like almost like a hooded lantern, but you know, around. You now have bread lantern. Kind of moldy. Kind of maybe like flopsome.
Little half baked, like his whole plan.
Yeah, yay. Yep. So as you head up to your rooms, who's taking the bread?
I mean,
I'm guessing
Zerk
Zerk.
was just, I wasn't asking anybody
Yeah,
else.
all right.
I was taking it with me.
Brand, I think, as we're like leaving the basement, might say to Toad, like, I don't want to assume anything, and I hope this isn't offensive, but like part of that is moldy. You're covered in mushrooms. Can you like commune with fungus or something like that?
This is a question. Yeah, I do have speak with plants.
It's not a plant. It's mold.
Mhm. They're not the same.
I
They're
realize
not the
that.
same thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
This would be
Also,
Brand doesn't.
What
Brand doesn't know
exactly
that,
do
and
we
neither
think
did
mold
I.
would communicate if mold could communicate?
that's up to you to decide. First, to permit it, and then decide what
Sure.
it says.
Mold is not plant or like fungi with enough body or intelligence to give you so I'm going to go with it is not communicative in this way.
Well, neither is a
Um,
fern. Like,
No, but like a fern could give you at least impressions of like sunlight and the feeling of, access to water. And like all mold's going to tell you, if anything, and once again, not a plant, is like, I have fuel. Yay, spores. Like this is
I mean, that's an old.
so close to propagation. Woohoo! Like,
isn't that enough?
yeah, I'm a greener type. Yay! Like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what penicillin is, but I could be that. It's a bread mold. All right. Yay, Fleming. Moving on. All right. Bread mold has brought us many things. If you try and
Yes.
communicate with it, it is not going to provide you anything useful in terms of like impression other than that it currently has access to fuel.
This isn't.
Also,
this
you
isn't
just asked
canonically
me
the
if you
year-
could talk to bread mold. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. This isn't canonically the year in Greyhawk history when penicillin invented itself.
It is all. Yeah, it's not going to be smuggled out of like anybody lining anybody's coat in the process of the Blitz has not started. It's fine. Okay, not the Blitz. This was prior to. Yeah, wrong war. All right. Anyway, yay. So, bread mold says yum.
Well,
And it's up to you whether you're offended by the impression that you could talk to bread mold as someone who communicates sort of with fungus. Yeah.
do I speak fungi?
Sort of. I imagine that it's like, once again,
But-
because it's not a plant, but I think mushrooms are actually listed in the description. So that's the fault of the writers. Like it's the ability to speak to fungi versus plants is going to be a different impression of things. Like it feels like a different dialect to you, right? Like this accent is weird, and like none of the phrasing that they're using makes sense. But like
Well, to be fair, I think speaking
the only
with
thing the
plants,
fern was going to tell you is that yay sunshine, or so you're fine.
To be fair, I think the fern to me would have this strange accent.
Okay, sure. All right. Yay. All right. Great. So we go to bed now. Yep.
Mercifully.
You will go to sleep. Your stuff will arrive over the course of the evening. They will you will have 2 of the oxen. One is like really cute, like tawny brown color, and the other one's spotted, and they seem nice. And then you've got a fairly standard chestnut horse, also with what it needs in terms of tack to be ridden. Some of the supplies are in it's a pack saddle, so it has some storage with that. You have things that are packed into this cart. Cart is a open wagon with a canvas cover, and then it has seats built into the front and the back of it. So if you choose to ride in it, you're riding on basically a bench. If you want to think about it as it's symmetrical side to side. And it has a couple of panels that you can pull off to load things, but there's no step up onto. There's a driver's seat in the front on like basically the back of the other side of the bench. It's got room for like 3 of you if you sit really tight together. And there's like a pommel for you to put reins for driving these 2 oxen. So our turtle will be leading the cows as you head through. If you head towards where the caravan is supposed to be meeting, you're heading to the western gates of the city on the way out. A lot of people this morning have had similar ideas. There are, like, it's a good thing that you have your equipment now, because you do get the impression that people are looking for, like, beasts of burden, pack animals, horses, like, yeah, nobody like straight up like offers you for, but you get the impression that if you wanted to, you could probably sell this. And if you head to the caravan meeting place, through not throngs of people, but like a steady group of people headed out, caravan is going to be waiting on west side of the city, like outside of the gates. There's people that are amassing. You're going to notice some things as you approach the caravan that Toth has set up. It is almost exclusively people with like horses or mules or like a couple of camels, just rider and mount. There's not a lot of like actual like carriage or like carts that are meant for passengers. There's a couple of wagon or like single axle carts that are being driven. One with like a really cute pair of goats, but it's not, it's not conveying like large groups of travelers so much as it is more of the like adventure types. Toth is talking to everyone that's like a part of Caravan 4, but you like as you're coming up, you actively see him turn away a like family that's asking to be part of the caravan if they pay for protection and passage. And the reasoning being that they are basically like not a strong enough part of the set to be part of the party, and they have to find somebody else to help them. So they will wander off. But seeing you all as you start to come forward, he's going to give like a barrel laugh and be like, these is like, I was telling some of y'all about these people. I threw that one and this one gave me a punch. And where's the little one? Where's the, you had a little, I threw her. Where'd she go? No? Okay.
She
Morning.
had her own business to attend to.
Yeah.
Brand
Not for everyone.
Brand's gonna clap him on the shoulder.
Like that's right. This one. You can ride near. You're not riding. You're in this contraption. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to, but I gotta guard the supplies.
Sure. All right. You're the
how it
apt person
is.
for that. All right.
And during the walkover, Zerk has been working on an old like knapsack, like fanny pack looking thing, and he's going out like he has his helmet on, so there's no can't see his face.
I
right
would
now.
like to be specific here. Is it a knapsack or a fanny pack? Make your choice.
If it's a belt pouch, it's a fanny pack. That's just the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll make it like a utility belt, like fanny pack looking thing.
All right. It's a belt bag, sure.
Yeah.
All right.
And he's working on that, and it's old and discarded, but he's using the tip of his finger as almost like a 3D printer with like arcane sparks, just adding runes to it and throughout it. And I assume by the time we get to the caravan, I have a completed bag of holding ready to go. So all of our supplies, food, water, up to 500 pounds, I can store in there.
Okay. So the journey that you're preparing for, as they hinted to you at the store, is what, like, at a good clip, this is going to take you probably 6 days to a week. So yeah, you have a hefty amount of supply stuff. I would go with like if you're including like any of the like clothing, etc., that you're not wearing, that's still like a sizable portion of that. But the nice part is now you got a whole bunch of room in the cart. So all of you, with the exception of Belle, do not need to like scrimp on space to like stretch out in your wagon.
No one knows we have supplies now.
Also
or
that,
when we're
yeah.
heading out. Yeah. And anything
I
we
just
want to.
really like the thought that like Brand is like telling the guy like I got to guard the supplies right as like Zerk
it's
is
like
finishing
there's
up.
just a fanny pack in the middle of the wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
All right, like well, you know, y'all. And actually, that's so he's gonna look at that now that we have this new look to our supplies. To be clear, you'll be handling your own on this ride. Like we're heading west, ideally all the way out to Kalen, and it's not a short journey. I mean, like at least y'all got shoes on. That's good. But you are like it's the strong need to pull their own. If you can't handle, I've been like I, as much as I enjoyed our time together so far,
Zerk chimes in, says, "Worry not about us, only about yourself," and it clips on a fanny pack and hops on the cart.
That is what I am saying. Good sir person.
He's in the cart,
yeah. He's not exactly certain like how to properly address it's winter. Foraging's gonna be harder, and we're not slowing down for anyone who can't handle it.
We'll be fine.
I can forge and I can help others, and I have other things I can do.
If you're gonna say like I can help others, he's gonna kind of give you the same line, which is like this is every person got to handle their own. I mean, I'm sure that at some point we'll be making stew, and we'll be more than happy to take your assistance in that. But if you cannot handle your own, you need to find another way west. But if as long as you are like appear as though you're at least okay with the idea that like he's leaving you behind if you don't have any food, etc.
Yes.
They will like start to coalesce and start rounding people up to head out along the main road towards Haven Hill and through the pass into the Kingdoms of Ulek and then into Kalen from there. So it's as you get moving, there's a solid like 12 adventurer types, including Toth, that are mounted and rolling out. They all have like pack saddles or knapsacks, or you know, nobody's got the cool fanny pack, but like, you know, what are you gonna expect? Cat sighting. But as like people start rolling out, like this is the amassed people that are allowed to be part of this party are very much a like, these look like either like I have, you know, I normally live like roughing it in, or like I can handle my own in such a way that, you know, maybe not quite like bandit level, but like I am anticipating being able to handle whatever's thrown at me, with the possible exception of having to like find a vegetable. So yeah. I mean, that's hard, right? Identifying plants could be hard. Talking to them, even worse. Is mold a plant? This is the question for today. Yeah, so we can get a sense of what actually happens on your journey then next time, because I want to be better about time this time. Because I am not on you guys' time zone, and it is late for you all. Yes, so we've gotten to the point where you are ready to head further out of Obsidian Bay. The road has, at this point, a fair number of other travelers on it. So, like your group, there are other like groups along the road in carts and in wagons, and but this is about, other than you, 12 other adventurers. They have a cart and 2 wagons, and other than that, just mounts. The cart is specifically pulled by 2 goats, and they have names, but you don't know them yet. And yeah, so we're gonna head out on the road when we
had a
pick
long
this up
rest last night, right?
again.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good question. It's a very good question.
I mean, is it like actually 8 hours? Probably not. Was it enough for you to like, yeah, sure.
It's not an 8-hour rest. It's a
No,
long
it's just,
rest.
yeah, it's a long rest. But it's definitely like canonical. Yeah, sure. You had enough
It's
to
all
actually
relative.
get like a cycle of REM sleep. Let's put it that way. All right.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay. If you've been joining us, thanks for being included in our wrapping things up in Obsidian Bay, part of Mercy of Time. Is mold a plant? Is our bread a hologram? Stages of knife. Next band. This is the important
bread,
parts.
I took the bread with me, by the way. That's coming with me.
Okay. Is it in the bag
Yeah.
of holding?
Should we determine that next time?
You can think about that for next time, but it is definitely
I think it might
must be
break something.
resolved. Okay. We will see where the bread goes. Will this sourdough have the greatest adventure of its life, not life? Don't know. And yes, mold has planted itself into the lore here. I am already sorry, but we'll see how we do. So, thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting Planned Parenthood for those of you that donated. If you are considering that, obviously, we would love for you to continue to support if you enjoyed what you saw here. Until next time, 2 Wednesdays from now, we hope that you are fantastic. And it's been nice to have you along.
Yeah.
Anything that I am forgetting
it's,
to mention or that we should, there's like a whole bunch of stuff on the schedule. That's a thing.
Yeah. There's some very cool stuff coming up. This Sunday, the next thing we're going to be doing this Sunday is going to be the premiere of Academy H, which is our masks game. Everybody plays superheroes, young superheroes that are just kind of learning the ropes. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be the premiere Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we're back in our normal rotation. We've got Missing Numbers on Tuesday. We've probably got a video game stream Thursday night, and then we'll be back at it with Veilbreakers the following Sunday. And the wheel keeps turning. Cycle goes on and on. That's about it from us, I think. Thank you again. Oh, if you want to know what we're doing, you can follow us on Twitter. There's that link.
There's an
Join
Instagram.
the Discord.
There's a Discord.
There's an Instagram. We don't really talk about the Instagram.
I mean, like you can get a good sense of what's upcoming because people remember to promote things on there. That's helpful. Our banner is cute, you know. The Discord is really where it's at, though. If you want to engage with things or see like other pictures of the thing that keeps crawling behind me, she's currently in a box. But yeah, there's other stuff there. But the pet pictures is really what you're there for, right? That's what you're there for.
That is true. Yeah, we are most active on Twitter and Discord. Feel free to follow or hop into the Discord. But on that note, we are going to disappear for a few short seconds, and then we're going to raid another excellent creator here on twitch.tv. Our friends at Nat20 Productions are streaming their Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign, and so we will stop by and say hi. So don't go away. Tell them we said hi.
We sent
thanks so
you.
much for hanging out with us. Yeah, tell them we sent you. And we will be going away. So have a good night, everybody. Say good night.